Hey guys, it's Jess. So I'm back with another review, and this time it's for Divergent. The first Australian screening of Divergent was actually last night. I managed to get tickets to the advanced screening and I got to see it last night, and just like catching fire, here is my initial reaction after getting home from the movie. Hey guys, it's Jess. So I just got back from seeing Divergent at the movies. I'm kind of whispering because everyone else in the house is asleep right now. I know you guys enjoyed seeing my initial reaction from Catching Fire, so this is mine for Divergent. The release date for Divergent in Australia was actually a week later than the US and possibly many other countries, but I got advance tickets to see it 3 days before the actual release date here in Australia. My first impression is the trailer did the movie no justice. I'm actually so proud of this movie. I think it was very well done. It's quite different from the book, I would say, but in a way that came across better on film. So for the rest of you guys living in Australia that didn't get to go to an advanced screening, it comes out this Thursday anyway, so you don't have a long wait. And I'm not sure about other countries. I know the US has already got it, obviously, but hopefully you've seen it. If not, you may want to click away because this is going to be a spoiler review. You have been warned. If you keep going, there will be spoilers, and do not get mad at me if you keep going and have not seen the movie and then get spoilers. Just don't be that person. So I actually went and saw the movie with my mum. I treated her to a ticket because I actually don't know anyone else who has read the books apart from one person who could not go. So I took my mum, who has not read the books, and I kind of like going with people that haven't read a book when I go to a book to movie adaptation, because you kind of get to see what someone who hasn't read the books thinks of the movie. And let me just tell you, my mum was really impressed with this film. She wasn't really sure. She didn't really like the trailer for it, and I have to agree with her there. I even said to her, look, I don't think the trailer's going to do this movie justice. It's making it look like a love story, and that's just a subplot, and there's so much more that will be going on, hopefully. But I stick by that because the trailer did not do the movie justice. The movie was just so much more than they showed in the trailer. So if you haven't read the books and you watched the trailer and just thought, it's just another tweeny love story, no, it's not. Hopefully you're not that kind of person that judges a movie from a 2-minute trailer. But if you are, I can tell you right now that that movie is not what it seems in the trailer. I'm so happy she enjoyed it because I was really worried that she'd be like, these books must be so shit. The first thing I want to talk about is something my mum actually brought up, and she was so outstanded by the chemistry between Theo and Shailene, who played Fort and Triss. And I have to say, when Theo was cast as Fort, I was one of those people thinking, Jesus Christ, they've cast a 30-year-old for a 19-year-old role. How is this going to work? Yes, Theo is really fine, but I need to see him on screen to know why they chose him as Fort. I can tell you right now, I do not think the chemistry would have been the same on screen if it was being played by a younger guy. I felt that because Fort was that bit older, he had so much more authority like he does in the books, and you don't really think about it when you're reading, how age can define the authority, but they needed to up his age for that to come across on screen. It was absolutely necessary. The chemistry was on point. The acting was on point. It was amazing, amazing acting. But that also goes for the rest of the cast. The casting for this movie, a lot of people were upset because they did cast older people for the roles. A lot of the actors are in their mid-20s and they're playing roles of 16-year-olds, which, I mean, it happens all the time, especially with book-to-movie adaptations. For someone to properly portray a role, sometimes you need to up that age to a maturity level that only a 25-year-old can bring on screen. Another thing I absolutely loved were the sets. So the factions were amazing. Dauntless Headquarters in particular I loved it. I would have liked to see more of like the chasm and stuff, but that's okay. It's fine. I think my favourite scene in the film, which was also one of my favourite scenes in the books, was the war games. That was shot so well. It looks so much fun. I want to play it. I also really enjoyed the fear landscapes. Those were shot so well. The cinematography in the process of the fear landscapes was just phenomenal. But there was one thing that bugged me, is that I only counted 5 of Triss's fears, not 6. Did I miss one? Or did they change it to 5? I'm not sure. If I feel like I must have miscounted, and I'm sure I'll go to see it at the cinema again when it's released on Thursday, but for now I only counted 5 and I was like, what the fuck? But I mean, 4 had his 4 fears, obviously, because he's 4, so 4. As far as death scenes go, there are a fair few in Divergent, and same as in the books, Al and Will got me hard. I was so upset. I think seeing the scene between Triss and Al, where Al tries to apologise to her for what he did and she calls him a coward, my heart fell out my ass. I felt so physically ill because I knew what was going to happen. My mum was like, when they pull him out of the chasm, my mum was like, oh my god, like she was so upset. And I think they did that beautifully on screen. As for Will's death, it was a little less sudden than it was in the books, I feel. She didn't really have time to think. In the movies, she kind of like is like, Will, like yelling at him, and by that time she could have thought, hey, I can shoot him in the leg, or both of the legs, and he'll go down and won't be able to shoot at us, or yeah, she kind of had time to think about it, whereas in the books she was like, I don't have time to think, and she just pulls the trigger and he's dead. But her reaction to killing Will was still had the same effect on me, and that was really well done. I was really impressed with Kate Winslet as Janine. I've never seen her play a villain before. I think she even said in an interview she's never really played a villain on this level before, and it was really refreshing to see someone like her playing such a bitch. Now, for things that I didn't see in the film that I would have liked to see from the books, I guess they just didn't have time for these things. They didn't particularly need to be in there, but I would have liked to see them all in the same. The first being the fork in Edward's eye. I mean, Edward was in the film, he was there, and he, excuse me, can you not cast such a hot person to play Edward and then just like push him to the side? Because I only got to see him a couple times and he has a really good face. So, what's that about? So yeah, Edward didn't get attacked, but it was made known that he was the best out of the initiates because Eric picked him for War Games. Also, Triss didn't get to kick Peter's ass after he kicked her ass, which I really would have liked to see. There was a moment at the end of the movie where she does like fuck him up a little, and that was kind of like yay. But also, Miles Teller as Peter, I was laughing my ass off. Miles is like the fucking funniest human being ever, and it just comes across like he's a funny asshole, and I appreciate a funny asshole because I feel like I can relate. Also, I was gutted to see Uriah's name on the leaderboard, but he wasn't even cast, and then like we get to like the zipline scene and he's not there. I think the guy that was talking to Triss was supposed to be Uriah, but they didn't exclusively cast him, but his name was on the leaderboard. I just hope if they do a sequel that Uriah is in it. Same goes for Lynn. I saw her name on the leaderboard as well. And Lynn is one of my favourite characters in that series, so I would like to see her if they do the Insurgent sequel. Overall, I think they did quite a great job with this. It was a very decent job for book to movie adaptation. It's not as bad as Aragon. I feel they did a better job than City of Bones did with their film. The film is far from perfect. The chronological order in the books is off in the movies. That happens. They have to shuffle stuff around to fit it in the film. The film goes for 2 hours 20, I believe, and it just flies by. Like, you don't feel the time passing because there's just so much action-packed shit. That's probably not the best way to describe it, but you get what I mean. I did feel towards the end of the movie it kind of started to lose a bit of punch, but I don't know if that's actually the movie itself or me, because I was really effing tired. I'd been at work all day and then I went straight to the movies and I was really tired and like quite laggy. There are a lot of things that were changed that needed to be changed for it to be a successful standalone movie for people who haven't read the book. So I completely understand why they went down some of the routes they did. And to be honest, I really haven't read the books recently, so I think that helped me being able to accept the changes, because it wasn't fresh in my mind like I do for the Hunger Games, because I'm very anal about that shit. Yeah, I'm pleased with it. I'm pleased with the Divergent movie. I think the way they did it could lead to a sequel. It's very hard for the book to movie adaptations to get sequels now. City of Ashes just keeps being put off. I don't think Vampire Academy did that well. I personally enjoyed the movie. I thought it was hilarious and very entertaining, but it did not go well in the cinemas. And it really sucks when that happens, when there's a book you love that's been made into a movie and then they fuck it up the ass. I don't think anything's been as bad as Aragon, to be honest. That'll stay with me forever. There is one more thing I wanted to bring up. That is that Divergent is being advertised as the new Hunger Games. No. I just want to say, if you go to the cinema to see Divergent in hopes of seeing the next Hunger Games, you are going to be very disappointed. Why? Because Divergent is its own story. The Hunger Games is its own story. Harry Potter, Twilight, Vampire Academy, City of Bones, all different stories. Stop. If you want to know what the next Hunger Games was, it was fucking Catching Fire. It's already been out. It's the fucking sequel. The similarity between the Hunger Games and Divergent is they are a young adult book turned into a film, and they are both set in dystopian settings. The end. To get that off my chest, because I'm sick and tired of all of these comparisons. That pretty much wraps it up for what I wanted to say, guys. I hope you enjoyed my review with the spoilers and whatnot. And if you haven't already seen the film or it's not out in your country yet, make sure you get tickets, because I really want you guys to support this movie. If you have seen the film, let me know what your favourite part was, or what you didn't like, what you felt like they should have included, anything, let me know. If you have any requests, leave them in the comments below as well. You can also join me on my Facebook and Tumblr page. The links are in the description, and if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. See you guys later. I feel so pretty today. So yeah, my mum thoroughly for someone to properly portray, I think my favourite scene in the film as well, that was actually my oh, Reeby's here. Whoop, whoop. We're having an issue with Reeby getting off the bed. What are you doing? It's quite easy to follow without having read the books. Talk to you guys next time.